1, 2, oatmeal.
Kirby is a pink guy. Do you guys want to know a fun fact about the podcast today?
What's that?
What?
It's the first podcast of the new year.
Wait a minute. It's episode 24 in 2024.
Bro, so that's the reason why we didn't upload in the past 3 weeks.
That's why actually there was a pause. That was totally planned, right?
That was it. That was it.
Yeah. That's the reason. That's the reason why we haven't uploaded on the channel in like a whole month. Yep.
Incredible.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, impeccable timing. Actually, I thought that was really intelligent. The last episode of 2023 was episode 23. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys.
Yeah, this is like some Mr. Beast tier levels of content. Anyway, we could check the mention Jimmy box of the week. There we go.
All right.
But yeah, no, holidays and whatnot were a busy time. Had a lot going on and stuff. So yeah, podcasts were not happening, but we're back. We're here to talk. And speaking of holidays, I guess want to like briefly touch on that. How did holidays go for you guys?
Well, I mean, I cooked a bunch of great food, so I'm very happy with my holidays. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, holidays went cool for me. I didn't really think we'd be doing much, but my mom actually had a foot surgery like a while ago, and she's still recovering from it. But surprisingly, we actually had a pretty large Christmas Eve party at my house, so that was interesting. It's like an annual thing with mostly family, friends, and stuff. And then Christmas Day was pretty chillax. Didn't do anything, just stayed at home all day. It was a good time with my parents and my parents' cat. Very fun. And then for New Year's, that was pretty cool. We went over to one of my friends' houses named Francis and had a lot of people there.
Oh
and
yeah,
it was a good time.
Francis. Let's go.
Yeah.
How about New Year's for you?
That was mine. Oh, that was my New Year's.
Oh, at Francis. Oh, I thought you said that was on Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I gotcha.
actually, funnily enough, I went over to another friend's place on Christmas, but that was very unannounced and very just like for an hour. It wasn't really planned.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, holidays were fine, all in all. I ended up losing my phone really briefly over break and actually missed out on doing something I was looking forward to. I was supposed to go to the Kings Island Winterfest for our friend's birthday, but I lost my phone and I had to stay back to go find it.
Wait, you mean is that with Jonathan?
Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. Wait, okay, so he invited me literally like last minute on the trip because you couldn't go. I was wondering why he invited me.
No, that wasn't for me. What?
Okay.
That was because another person had to drop. I was still planning to go that evening. Like the night before, we were out for our friend's 21st, and I left my phone at a bar, and I had to go get it the next day because it closed after we left.
No.
That was tragic, but it was there. It was fine. I mean, I got it right when they opened, but I had to stay behind to do that. So.
I see.
Yeah.
It was funny when you just because like Jonathan messaged me. He said, "Hey, I know this is last minute, but you want to go to like Kings Island tomorrow?" And he messaged me at 11:38 p.m. It's like, thanks, giving me a whole lot of time to make a decision here. Obviously, I couldn't go. It was way too late notice, but you know, it would have been like fun to do like a trip.
Well, they were leaving at
dang.
like past noon because the park didn't open until 5. It was for the Winterfest, which is only from 5 to 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I missed out on that, unfortunately, for a silly reason, but it's fine. That would have been, if I really counted out, I don't remember what the numbers are. It's either that was like park visit, that would have been park visit like 24 or 25, or it would have been like 27 or 28. I need to remember, not of Kings Island, but in general, like number of parks I went to this year. So it's fine. I went to Kings Island multiple times, including with you.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So no biggie. I've been to an amusement park with both of you guys this year, actually.
You mean last year? Oh,
This year.
It's
last year,
year.
frick, bro. Oh, that was such a 23 moment.
I died.
Stuck in the past.
Anyway, to wrap up the holiday discussions, Christmas and New Year's went pretty well for me. I just visited family on Christmas, got to exchange some gifts, eat some nice food, and my sister's cat, we brought it to my freaking family's house, and she has my aunt has some dogs, and they did not really interact at all. We had to
Did
keep
not
them in
enjoy the
separate
cat?
rooms. Well, it was really funny actually because we kind of kept the cat upstairs, and she was she was up there the whole time because we didn't really want to interact with the dogs. Because last year we brought it to the house as well, and the dogs just kept barking at her, and she was just so scared she hid under the bed the whole time. So we just kind of kept her alone in a room. But my sister, when we were about to leave, she actually left the door open. And the cat got out, and we couldn't find her anywhere. It took almost 15 minutes just for us to find her. Finally, I found her, and she was under the corner in the under my aunt's huge bed, and I barely found her there. And I was like, "What the heck? How are you all the way under here?" And I was so surprised because she had to go all the way down the stairs, and the dogs just didn't notice her at all. Yeah, cats can be stealthy, but I thought they'd sniff her out or something, but they didn't even notice. They didn't even make a peep about her. She just ran down the stairs and went somewhere else to hide. But anyway, it was, besides the cat moment, it was a fun Christmas. And then as for New Year's, I really didn't do too much. I honestly just streamed Identity 5. But it was a good time. You know, I had a good time with everybody in the chat. I actually celebrated New Year's with them. So that was a good time, considering I didn't really have much else to do. So I thought, why not?
Speaking of moving forward in the new year, you dropped an update video for your funny main channel. Well, not your main channel, your cartoon channel. So, Zeez Vov Gee 2.
That's right.
Yeah, what is the future? What does Zeez Vov Gee look like in 2024?
You said Zeez Vov Cheese? What? Okay. It sounded like you said Zeez Vov
I said Zeez Vov Gee. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Zeez Vov
I-
Cheese Puff.
Zeez
Not
Vov
a true
Cheese Puff, yeah. I dropped an update video on that channel. For those who haven't seen it, I basically to just give a TLDR or TLDW. I basically said every single Saturday I'm gonna try and upload, and I already have this Saturday's upload recorded, so I just have to edit it now, and that's gonna be the Hilda season 3 review, which I actually really liked how the review went. I think it turned out pretty well, so I'm excited to upload that. But yeah, I wanted to upload every single Saturday, and just kind of talk about any show or any topic that I thought would be really, really interesting. Even just small things, right? For example, the Hilda season 3, I'm just gonna talk about that specifically, but there's also a specific scene that I want to talk about in detail from a show that I thought was really, really good. And I want to just kind of go into that, just kind of do a mini deep dive, but it's just I don't want to overthink stuff anymore, right? So there's this funny meme out there that artists use to help themselves and motivate themselves, and that this meme actually really helped me kind of just make this final decision. And have you seen the 2 cakes meme before?
No.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I think I could probably
Post it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat. Hold on. The first person is supposed to be oh, look at this cake next to this other person's cake. My cake is so mid, and that's supposed to be the artist's perspective. But then the audience perspective just comes up and is oh my gosh, 2 cakes! This is awesome. This is the image.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it before, but this unironically is what really helped me, because again, when I was watching a bunch of other cartoon YouTubers videos, I kept watching theirs and I was wow, they're so much smarter than me. They know how to analyze things so much better than me, and it's basically me being oh man, this guy's cake is way better than mine sort of thing. But I kind of just forgot that I'm making these videos for fun. Every single video I make, I learn something from them. So even if I get stuff wrong, comments can point me out. Obviously, I'll learn and grow from each video. And the audience will just be yeah, we're still getting content, at least. They're still going to get content, even if it's not going to be super top tier for my daily or weekly uploads. There's still going to be a quality that I can produce to a certain level. And while it won't be as good as the ultimate cake, I feel people are still going to be happy to have 2 cakes as opposed to just 1 cake, That's so weirdly that meme actually helped me so much. It was really bizarre, because I was I've been stuck. I talked about the imposter syndrome. I've just been stuck in a rut.
You mentioned comparing yourself to other cartoon YouTubers, I think, in your update video, right? And my immediate thought was basically, well, just go to those YouTubers' channels and click sort by oldest, right? And see their first videos. It's not going to be anything, it's never anything too spectacular.
Yeah.
You can really tell it's much rougher, right? They all started from somewhere and they just continuously got better. I think that you have a massive advantage, and I flattered you with this a little bit before the call here, and I'll say it again on the call. if you look at your Owl House Kahoot video, the editing on there was impeccable, especially the ending scene. Literally, like, you're such a talented editor. Just from an audio-visual perspective, you have that, like, miles and leagues above nearly everyone else in the cartoon community. I'm not joking either.
Well, also,
so,
you
like,
are your own editor. Like, a lot of people aren't.
That's true. So, obviously, like, I think that you have one major advantage already from the audio-visual perspective, which is something they don't have. And then, like, again, if you're worried about, hey, my writing's not quite as good or analysis is not quite as good, I mean, that's something that you're just going to develop over time, right?
Yeah.
And for what it was worth, like, I even commented on your Frieren video, is like, you kind of started out with, I forget what it was, but you started making a pretty good point, like, a comparison, like, between your life and what was happening in Frieren. And I know that like, you were like, oh, well, I'm not, like, a great, analysis person. Like, you kind of shedded your self-doubt and your imposter syndrome on that video. I'm like, you definitely were starting to go somewhere with it, right? It wasn't terrible analysis. Like, you were.
Well, yeah, actually,
I
wanted to talk a bit about that. That video actually wasn't. I actually thought that video was, like, just on the cusp of being a really great analysis video because, like, I just felt like it was just a step short in my personal opinion. Like, I thought it was a good video. Don't get me wrong.
No, that's fine. It was literally on the ball at like 3 a.m. recording video. So that's another reason for like why.
Well,
it might
I mean,
be
like a lot of analysis videos are kind of on the cusp because, like, I mean, personally, there's the analysis videos where, like, oh yeah, you're learning something new and they're talking a bit about what this means. And then there's the analysis videos that are more like, oh yes, this relates to life in this way. And I felt like it was more of one of those kinds of analysis videos, if you get what I mean. And I feel like there's always an interesting way to connect media back into our personal lives that, like, people will always enjoy in a sense. And I felt like it was just kind of like... I felt like if you just fleshed it out a bit more, it would have been really great. I think I mentioned this to you.
You did, actually, yeah. And you actually like gave up some interesting points that like could have been added to the video that I thought was really, really interesting as well. Obviously, like, 3 episodes that I just kind of like... I didn't get like all of what Frieren probably has to say. I'm sure there's like a lot more messages the show has to give off. But like just like the first 3 episodes, it was just very, very
some of the later episodes were a bit more hit and miss. I think RaceCar agrees with me on this one pretty much.
It becomes more episodic, and you definitely, like, come 5 or 6, you get the general gist of where the show's going.
I feel like it kind of peaks around, like...
the first
There's a certain
episodes.
episode... What?
Okay. Sorry, you can go on.
The first few episodes? I don't really think that's the peak. I thought that was, like, great, but I wasn't sure if that was the peak. I honestly forgot which episode it was. I can't spoil it, though, because
No, I just to kind of, like, talk more about Frieren, I guess. I just thought, like, because I've only seen 3 episodes, right? But the way of, like, the pacing was in the first 3 episodes was just so good. Because, like, time is, like, passing by so fast. And yet it feels so calm and slow-paced despite all that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was incredible. I thought that blew me away, especially like again the first few. It was great. And my favorite thing about it was the small details that you would learn about her, like that you would like it would just be like a very small background thing, and then it would come up as like a primary thing in another scene, just like this makes her laugh, and then like that event happens, and it just makes like I don't know, it's just something really. There was a lot of very small actions that were like referenced back to for something that had like 50 years in the past, and it would like. A small thing would happen, then she'd laugh at it, right? Or like just out of nowhere. It just was interesting. Just make a smirk. That was all it'd be. It'd be like, oh, I know why she's smirking. Like it was just interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
It really like put you into her perspective, I suppose. Like the way it was framed, like it was shot sort of in a way that kind of puts you into her shoes. Because I feel like, in a way, it's kind of like how Frieren is remembering things. Like we're looking at how Frieren remembers the past, and like on one hand we're watching an episodic TV show, on the other hand and Frieren is kind of remembering the past, and we're looking at Frieren's life through her eyes. And so like that kind of lends itself to like having like on one hand like yeah, it's a TV show, so we got to skip past the boring moments, but at the same time like Frieren is kind of remembering like these small little moments in her life, and these are the ones that are important to her. And so it's kind of like there's a nice sort of synthesis there between the medium and the and the perspective of the character in a way that seems really interesting. There was like a scene like this actually in the movie Inception, where during one of the scenes, I don't know how much I'll just spoil this. This happens near the beginning of the movie, anyways. It's an old movie. You should have seen it by now.
I haven't, but go ahead. It's fine. I'll probably forget in like 2 days.
The premise of the movie is that there are people that can like go into people's dreams and steal ideas.
Oh wait, no, I have seen this movie. Never mind.
This is the Paprika ripoff.
Yeah, it is. But essentially, there's this one scene. There is this one scene where they're on the rooftop and they're talking, and then it cuts. And they're at like a cafe, and then the guy goes like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're in a dream." And that's kind of interesting because like as an audience, like we're just used to things cutting like that, but like as like that is kind of weird. Like if you experience that in real life and you didn't realize it was happening to you, and
yeah,
so
like
there's
a little
this
fourth
interesting
wall break almost, Steven.
Yeah, and I'm saying like Frieren's kind of doing like the same thing where it's like using the medium, like it's an episodic TV show where it's using the cuts to its own advantage, where like we're seeing kind of how Frieren sees things, not just as a TV show, but like making the editing have like a sort of transcendental sort of meaning to it.
I gotcha.
Right.
And just to make a random comment, Inception was the movie where the guy spins the penny, right?
It wasn't a penny. What do you think? It was a top. But whatever.
What? Okay, okay, yeah, he spins the top. Okay, well, he spins something to be like, oh, is this the real world or no?
No, dude, it was a freaking quarter.
Was it a quarter?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a penny. Oh, wait, what is a top? Whatever. I know he spun something. All right. Well, yeah, I saw that movie on a car ride to a Boy Scouting trip. Yep. So I did see that movie.
What?
That was how I experienced it. Yep. It's funny. Yeah, Frieren's good. Go watch it. But yeah, just like going back to like more Zeez Vov Gee. Yeah, for the billionth time just to watch Frieren. I have to freaking finish it. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for like these uploads for Zeez Vov Gee 2 because I was literally last night I was actually like giddy thinking about like uploading on Zeez Vov Gee 2 again because like I freaking love working on that channel, dude. I have like so many things that I wanted to talk about, but my own like self-doubt was holding me back. And now that I've kind of just been like somewhat let free of that self-doubt, I'm just kind of excited to just make a refresh and just kind of work on it.
Just take the lesson from every shonen protagonist ever. The only thing you ever need to do is believe in yourself. Then you're capable of anything.
I'll never give up. I have to win. When I fight this fight, I won't back down.
Because my friends believe in me.
It's a shame that the shonen protagonist of this podcast is not here to have this discussion.
Yeah, he's so absent today.
Our poor friend, the little rookie. Not here on the very first podcast of the year. We truly do this to the little rookie.
Too busy microscoping today.
Too busy microscoping all over the place.
He's too busy eating cacti.
Yeah, he's too busy eating cacti.
Yeah, he went on a mystical trip and he wanted to go eat every single cactus in the desert. So that's what he's doing right now. He's gonna actually upload a video called "I ate every cactus in the desert."
I ate every cactus in the desert.
This is what happened. And it's just like him dead on the ground for like 50 minutes.
Him just coughing up blood for like 30 minutes straight and like suffering in the heat. I think my stomach lining is rotting out. So many needles are poking through my abdomen.
That's so funny, dude. I would generally watch that. Okay, I would probably get messed up watching that, but like the idea of it just being stupid.
Oh no, yeah. That needs to be a video.
Dude, okay. Oh, so stupid.
My goodness. A couple of things I think is cool, I guess, with your new approach with Zeez Vov Gee 2. I know that you were trying to do this with the 12 Days of Christmas rip, and
yeah, one day of Christmas.
one day of Christmas was just the kind of not caring as much and kind of throwing whatever at the wall. Like, for instance, your idea of like analyzing a specific scene, like you mentioned earlier, that sounds like such a great idea, and it's something that's so up your alley. Because I think one thing that you're really good at is, and you kind of see it in your reaction videos to like when episodes first drop out, or actually no, you really saw it a lot with your Big City Green, like your most recent Big City Greens video, where you went in like depth about like the scene where like they're departing. I don't know, like a sun. There was like a sun and moon, and this whole it was like a whole shot of like deciding whether to stay in the city or the country.
Right.
And it was and you went into like the whole detail of like what the characters were thinking and like how the shot was laid out. It was really great. You did a really good job, and I think like I don't know that the idea just makes me excited for you to just explore that, and I'm sure you can make it really marketable and cool. Speaking of cool and marketable videos on Zeez Vov Gee 2, the thing I've asked about, I feel like we've talked about for like a month and a half straight, 2 months now on this show. How is the Identity 5 video going? Obviously not Identity 5.
Wait,
crap.
what?
Miraculous
What?
Ladybug.
Oh.
You never. I literally read IDV.
Yeah, I was about to be like, huh? What are you talking
ahead
about?
in the script, that is forbidden.
I was about to be like, what the heck are you talking about? No, yeah, for the Miraculous video, no, I've already, no, it's cooking up well. It's cooking up well. We talked about the Kahoot video, like briefly, actually not on the podcast. We were talking about how like, I tried to make that video like really tight, right? The editing, like make it really tight. And for the Miraculous video, it's going to be like a little more slower pace compared to the Kahoot video, but I wanted to have like that same sort of tight editing, right? The kind of editing that doesn't make you want to click off, right? For example, the Frieren video, I'm sure a lot of people who are looking like for like some skibbity toilet type stuff, they're not going to be able to watch that video, right? They need like something that like keeps their attention span, keeps their eyes glued to the screen all the time.
Yeah. It took me about 10 minutes or 10 tries to finish that video.
Yeah, right. You gotta watch it in like 30-minute segments. But considering like the channel is like, especially like my target audience right now is a lot of like younger children because of like Owl House and Amphibia. So like kind of reach out to them. I need to like have like better editing and whatnot. So like if I imagine like when I start uploading some discussion about like anime, like when I talk about One Piece, I imagine that's gonna get like no views. But again, it's a transitional period. I'm just gonna try and transition to a more broad audience. I have to step away from the audience that I currently have and just expand it, or else I'm not gonna like grow or whatever. That's
right. You heard Zeez. You need to step away from him.
Well, yeah.
Or just make a brand new channel called Zeez Vov Gee Peace.
No, I think what I should call it is Zeez Vov Gee 2.
Zeez Vov Gee 2.2.
It's the second Zeez Vov Gee 2. It's the second cartoon animation channel. But the other one is just only Owl House and Amphibia audience, so it's just like I can't outreach because my subscribers are like like 90% of them are dead.
I feel like you're giving like freaking Final Fantasy a run for its money here in terms of the channels that you have. It's like Zeez Vov Gee, Zeez Vov Gee 2, Zeez Vov Gee 2 Reloaded, Zeez Vov Gee 2.2, 2.3.
That's literally like some Kingdom Hearts stuff as well. Yeah, it's like Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 2.5, Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
It's like Kingdom Hearts was a spin-off of Final Fantasy though, wasn't it? So it's just literally the same thing.
Yep. It's just the titles are just so goofy. Yeah, that's basically what the channels are at this point. But yeah, for the Miraculous video, the whole goal is to just have like a really good video. Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, unlike some certain game franchises. But no, it's just like I want to have like really tight editing for that video. So that's kind of the whole plan with that, along with just the weekly uploads. I think it's going to be a good video.
I know the plan with the Miraculous Ladybug video before was, hey, I'm going to upload it during December because of the increased ad revenue. Obviously, it didn't happen, which is fine. But did anything, I guess, reflecting back through that month of December, did anything positive happen? Did you see increased revenue or traffic through your Identity 5 channel, which has been consistently doing pretty well, obviously?
There's about like a 20% boost in revenue. It was really funny and also a little depressing to watch it completely tank once January hit.
Already? Wow.
Yeah, I know okay, I say it tanked. It went down by like 30%, but that's January revenue for you. January revenue is always bad. Like it just is because all the companies have spent all their money, all their ad money on December. And so they're like, we'll save in January and then we'll, save back up and do whatever. It's not like that bad, but it's definitely like noticeable, right? There's definitely like a big decline. But that's why a lot of creators will just upload less in January. But I am not one of those creators because I don't do it for the money. I mean, I do because I have to live, but I do it because I like it. Yeah.
YouTube, you heard that? You don't need to pay Zeez.
I do it for please no, hold on, I need to live. I do it for both. I'm not humble. I'm not one of those I don't do it for the money YouTubers. I do it for both.
I'll keep it real. We all gotta live.
Yeah, I need to pay bills. I'll keep it real. I need the money.
Man, speaking of things that are changing and that changed in January, to quickly change topics here, one of the things I wanted to talk about, which I thought was really interesting, is the whole new Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie are now in the public domain.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's kind of big news. So
it is.
For some quick historical context, I actually just quickly looked this up. So I thought it was 100 years, but I guess I was wrong. It's 95 years is when things moved to the public domain, or after 95 years.
Oh, is it? I actually thought it was 100 years as well. Huh.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie came out on November 18th, 1928. So technically it was 95 years old, November 18th, 2023. But I don't know if like all those things carry over at the start of the next year. But what was interesting though is now obviously Mickey Mouse as a character is free access, which is big.
Well, specifically just the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse.
Well,
not
the
like
Steamboat Willie version of him, yes. But like calling a mouse Mickey and having with the ears like that is public domain.
Right.
And we saw this before with Winnie the Pooh. I don't know if you knew that. That already been in the public domain.
Oh, and with the horror stuff?
Yeah, they had the horror movie that came out. And then, of course,
Blood
on
and Honey,
New Year's,
I think it was called.
Yeah. Now there's the Mickey Mouse one that's coming out very soon as well.
Oh, what?
So,
I did not even know about this.
Yeah, it's not Disney, right? Because now Steamboat Willie is public domain. Something that was cool is a bunch of YouTubers on January 1st uploaded Steamboat Willie just unedited fully on their channel. One of the YouTubers, I was watching a Lessons to Internet Culture video, and he reached out to a YouTuber called Dolan Dark, who's monetized, and he uploaded on his channel, got like 130,000 views, right? And he reached out to him and asked, as of like the next day, hey, is the video monetized? Did anything happen? He's like, yep, fully monetized, no copyright claim at all. Like, you could just upload Steamboat Willie in 4K on your channel right now and rake money off of it if you wanted to.
Interesting. That's interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, there's going to be more and more stuff that you could do that with. Wait, when was Snow White made again? I know Snow White was made like a long time
Snow White is 1937. I actually see it because it's up here right now. So
okay.
we still got a while.
We got a while, but you know. I imagine, like, in 10 years or whatever, people can just upload the full movie onto YouTube and just rake in the cold, hard cash.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And what I was saying, what this means moving forward is, imagine it's 2080. You know, we're getting really, really old. But by that point, it's 2080. All movies that came out in 2085, or like in 1985, you know, like a lot of the major Star Wars films, a lot of, you know, in the 1980s is when really big movies started coming out. By the time that we're old guys, we get to enjoy, you could just upload Star Wars films for free online and they wouldn't have to do anything, they can't do anything about it.
Not the prequels though, not the prequels.
Right.
Well, I mean, still so many movies.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Is by the time we're mega old, the amount of great videos that are movies.
Essentially all the old Disney movies would be available at that point, like all the like super old ones.
Well, I'm just thinking like it's not just Mickey is like, because obviously like we're starting to get to the age where like, you know, things were first starting to be like created, or like, you know, these bigger like
things,
you know, Mickey
started to be created.
Okay, like the cartoon animation.
1985.
You know what I'm trying to say. The cartoon animation type.
I know, I'm not just making fun of you. Just the world was a white void before 1985.
No, I just think it's kind of funny because it's not going to.
Created in 1985. The Earth, the universe, all the stars, everything.
Yeah.
I can't wait to upload your Kahoot videos on my channel. all the Owl House fans that are still around.
Yeah, all like 30 of them.
What it would be like 2100 and
22 or whatever. I don't know. 18, I guess now because that's 95 or whatever.
2118, guys. Go to RaceCar627's channel. Every Owl House Kahoot video is gonna be up on there.
Yeah. You should schedule them for that day.
Yeah.
Just seeing if it's like I'll be dead, but you know, 30 years, 40 years after I'm dead, here we go. We got it, bro.
Let's get that money.
Get that ad revenue. But no, it's just like, you know, it's not just Mickey. It's like we're gonna see like a lot more stuff pop up because of like the old cartoons and like media just like kind of being introduced around that age. So it's just like it's not just Mickey. Like, you know, as the years go on, we're just gonna see more and more characters enter public domain. And we could potentially see like a lot of different creative ideas from certain creators, I guess.
How long is it for public domain again?
95, you said?
It says 95 years, yeah. And it has to be, so like years. For instance, it was November 18th, 1928, but it didn't become public domain until the start of 2024. So it's the following year it becomes available, it seems.
I see.
So what's interesting is Snow White came out on December 21st, 1937. So technically, because it came out so late in December, we get that really fast carryover. Whereas like a movie that came out in like January, you might have to wait 11 more months, I think.
Interesting.
Before you can use it.
It must just be by the year, not specifically the date. I see.
Man, we're gonna go hard in 2032 when Snow White goes out.
Yeah.
Or 2033.
I mean, there's already a lot of like alt Snow White movies. Like this is like an entire genre, actually.
The old Snow White movie came out in 1937. The Snow White movie,
well, like the OG.
Yeah,
one.
the Disney Snow White,
the actual
movie.
one.
Yeah,
the actual one, not the other ones.
I don't know. That's gonna be a big day.
We just gotta wait another 100 years for all the remakes.
And then 3 years after
out.
that, we get Fantasia. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, we get that's what I'm telling you. It's like as the years go on, we're just gonna see more and more stuff. And since we're already seeing like freaking Winnie the Pooh horror movie, Mickey Mouse horror movie, like obviously horror movie is like the haha funny kids love kitty things turning into horror things. But I feel like there's just a lot more that like creators with better, I shouldn't say better visions, but visions that aren't just haha funny kid character with a gun /knife /blood. I just think we could see some really creative projects in the future. I don't know. I feel like we could. I think it's really interesting.
Well, those horror movies are super cheap and were made as like a really quick cash grabber, like almost like I'm like glad they exist because like obviously now you can. It's just funny to think about, right?
No, yeah, it is funny.
Yeah. So good on them. Oh wait, guys, by the time that we die,
Snow White is like
what Gen Alpha gets to experience right before they die that we don't get to see?
What?
Five Nights at Freddy's becoming a part of the public domain.
Oh,
let's go.
FNAF Nights at Fazbear.
Fortnite becomes part of public domain.
Oh my god, that's something I should.
Quick creep.
Dude, you guys, I didn't realize. So at that New Year's party, they had Fortnite on the TV. I didn't know about Epic's games, like new expansion into a whole bunch of different game genres.
Oh yeah, like the Lego thing, the Lego
Minecraft
the music
thing.
One or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Guitar Hero. Like our friend was playing Guitar Hero as Peter Griffin and like was like dancing on a stage.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's so bizarre,
I was like,
dude. It's
what
so bizarre.
the heck? Like they're opening up a whole again free to play universe in the same game, which is just really interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely is.
I mean, as much as you don't like Fortnite, they are pushing the boundaries of what we understand of like gaming and like IP and stuff. It is interesting.
No, it definitely is, and I say I just don't like Fortnite because I just don't like the gameplay. I guess or it's like it's not a game for me. But it's not more of like a hatred thing. It's just more like a sort of I don't want to play the mainstream funny shoot victory royale game. But the stuff that I see it do is like very fascinating, especially with like just like the endless amounts of collabs, the endless amounts of just like content coming for the game. It's very interesting to kind of watch from afar. Especially since one of my close friends is really into it.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. Moving on from that, what does it mean on you have notes here? It says less lights than usual.
Less lights than
usual.
usual.
Yeah. Okay. This is kind of transitioning back toward to the freaking holiday topic. But I was looking at this while I was doing some traveling. Visiting family around Christmas time, and there literally are just like less Christmas lights than usual. Like normally I see a lot more, and especially like as a kid, I just remember seeing like it was like almost every other house had Christmas lights, but now it's like maybe one house out of 10, maybe like 20 has Christmas lights. Obviously, that's probably just due to like light bill being expensive. A lot of people just don't want to bother putting them up. Too much work, too expensive to run. But and
is it just a trend that you've been noticing, or like just?
No, I notice it too.
It's just something that like just especially like within the last few years, I've just been seeing a lot less, and it's a little sad honestly because I really enjoy looking at some really pretty festive Christmas lights. The Boy Scout in me has always like never really liked them because it's like, oh, that's a waste of energy. What the heck? We should not do this. But the fun-loving pea-sized brain of me that the monkey clapping is like, ooh, pretty light. Oh, yay.
Do you put up Christmas lights? Or would you?
I have a couple internal like decorations. I have this little Christmas tree that is indoors, but I don't have anything. I mean, I live in an apartment, so like I can't really put too much up.
You're contributing to the problem.
Well, if I had like a whole freaking house, I'd probably I think what I would want to do is at least set up the icicle lights. I love like the fake icicle lights. I've always loved those. Where it looks like where they have like little drop down things and it looks like fake icicles falling.
I've never done any holiday decorations on the outside. The most I've ever done was a tree.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have. I just have like a little ceramic tree, and just like a couple of things, but that's about it.
Well, I used to have this LED tree actually. This is one that I think you know about this. I had this tree. I would always bring it to my little any computer desk during the holidays. It's like a festive LED tree that I got from Target. I had it for I think 8 years. I think.
Oh, I think I do know. I think I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think I threw that away. Like a
what?
year or two
Why?
ago.
Did it break?
No, it was shedding it sheds
that makes
needles,
sense, yeah.
and I was just it was getting kind of old, and I was just I could always get another one.
That's unfortunate. All right, well, yeah, I guess
I have a couple things related to the lights conversation, but go on, Emmy.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe it will return one day if I feel like getting another one for my desk.
Get one that doesn't shed. Hopefully, well, I guess it's kind of hard, but I assume it's when they're older they shed a lot more.
In general, they shed. I mean, it depends on how it's designed. It's like the LED needles.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. They do seem to shed more over time, even though they're like plastic. Probably because I don't know how they're combined inside those little rods. Maybe some sort of adhesion that maybe wears over time. But related quickly over to the lights conversation. So I actually did some traveling over December, where I went to Disneyland and went to the LA area really briefly, met up with a friend from college, and I went there with my girlfriend to ride some coasters for the last time. And when I was over in LA, I did notice that, dude, they go much harder than the Midwest on Christmas lights, and I think it's because the weather's much nicer for them to put up lights.
Oh, so yeah, for sure.
It's always perfect for them. That's a big thing. Is it rains so much. It's always so dreary and terrible out, and you don't want to be putting up lights when it's wet or snowing or whatever. But for them, it felt like every other house you would look at, there was flying in. We flew in at night, and you could just immediately tell all the neighborhoods had just had way, way, way more houses that had lights on them, which I thought was something I would never know because I've never actually been in California in December. I don't believe, unless I did when I was a really young kid. So I thought that was really interesting. And then another thing related to the lights conversation, at least I do want to know, for one, I guess, why less people are putting up lights. I think that is an obvious trend. I wonder if it's pertaining to I don't want to say laziness, but maybe mental health, or maybe what we perceive as what we value anymore, because we're always constantly surrounded by entertainment. I don't know. I'm trying to get really deep about this.
Kids these days, they're too lazy to even put up Christmas lights.
It's interesting that you go to that first, because I didn't even really think about that. That's a good point. I was thinking more economy type stuff, where it's just people don't want to go out and buy the lights. It's too much to run said lights.
They do die, and they're probably more expensive now, but even
are they
still,
more expensive?
LEDs
I guess they are.
Yeah, LEDs really aren't.
LEDs use up a lot less energy than other lights in the past, though they are a lot more expensive at the same time, so it's a lot more of an upfront investment.
It's just everything in general is more expensive now as well, and it's would you rather get your food or get some Christmas lights? Most people are just gonna opt to get food for the week or whatever.
Yeah, so
I would rather have a really nice holiday dinner rather than spend $50 on light energy. But maybe that's just how this generation works. Who knows?
One cool trend, I think, moving forward with Christmas lights, and you won't really see this, it's going to be pretty rare that you see this, but in amusement parks, they use something called projection mapping on a lot of effects for dark rides or on buildings and stuff. So it was used, I guess, early since the 90s, but really was popularized in the early 2010s when Universal Studios did like this big like night show on Hogwarts Castle where they do all these displays. Now, obviously, Disney does it on their castle, and it was really quickly implemented everywhere. But that's called projection mapping, right? So basically, there's a camera that shoots out, and it makes a 3D image, and then you can edit on full animations and displays that a projector then can shoot super accurate light to fill up that space. And there's now like projection mapping kits, like a bunch of companies doing this, where I'm sure you guys have seen this before, where someone just shines with the lasers at their house instead of like putting up Christmas lights. This is sort of a similar concept.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those before. Yeah.
Except you set up projectors in your yard where again it sets up a camera.
Future. We have holograms.
It sets up a camera and it'll make a 3D image of your house, and you can go on an app, and then you can just literally like put images onto there or animations and everything, and like set up timings or videos.
Okay, interesting.
And it'll project it on your house in real time. Or
bro,
like
you know what I should do? I should do
that.
People should like get those projectors and like
then make Zeez Vov Gee videos.
No, no, I was gonna say put like fictional characters on it and like make stupid videos about talking to the fictional character that's projected onto the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative things you can do with it.
No way, is that Richard Rat? Hey, it's me, the rat.
I really do like the look of where people have actual Christmas lights and then they do that projection on the wall. Even the lasers, I think that looks pretty classy. I don't like the lasers just on their own. It looks lazy.
Wait, hear this out. We're gonna put Steamboat Willie and then 3D projection.
Yo.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like just stream Steamboat Willie on your house 24/7.
Just get like a whole party to come over and watch. Like actually just stream it as well. Be like, hey guys, look at this stream of Steamboat Willie. I'm just it's on my house though.
Willie.
Steamboat Willie.
I'm surprised it's not a YouTube stream. I should have made a YouTube stream where it's just Steamboat Willie 24/7.
Honestly, bro,
that would have been so good. And just called it Streamboat Willie.
Honestly, yo, you are honestly popping off. Literally, upload that or like make a channel called Streamboat Willie. Make it just loop Steamboat Willie over and over and over again, and just watch it break into cash.
Dude,
like, you could have like the stupid lo-fi girl stream. It'll be but Streamboat Willie.
Exactly.
Listen to Steamboat Willie while you study and relax.
Yeah.
Watch Mickey Mouse abuse animals for 8 minutes over and over again. I don't know if you guys see this short. It's interesting.
No, it is pretty goofy. I've seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I've seen it.
It is just lots of him just abusing animals and laughing at it. It's just interesting.
Well, it's just because a lot of the cartoons back then were just like so much slapstick.
More crude for sure, a little more rude even, you'd say.
Yeah, for sure. But they're the classics. They're pretty goofy and fun.
I mentioned earlier really quickly like Identity 5, and we mentioned like, hey, like what the revenue was for that. One of the big things I never asked you about, and it was one of the things you announced on that channel a long time ago, is you created a second Discord server that's fairly big, and you're Melly's fans.
Right. Yeah. So Melly fans is like the character Melly is like the channel or the character that has been running around. Yeah, she's probably my favorite character from the game. Very, very interesting character. And so I decided to like make the Discord about that. And I was honestly surprised how many people joined up into it because I got many, many requests. I wasn't really planning on doing one, but I just got a lot of requests from people just wanting like the community because apparently that's really weird about Identity 5 is since it's kind of small. There's not like a ton of English creators, especially since the game is a lot bigger in like China and Japan. But allegedly, I haven't really looked into it too much because I kind of just focus on my own stuff. But allegedly, a lot of the English creators are like decently controversial. There's some good ones out there, but again, this is just allegedly. But like, there's like, some solid ones that have been out there for a while. There's like, I think 20 or 30 creators that have just been like doing it for a long time and they're all good. But apparently like, a good amount of people will just like pop up and then like they'll stay up for like a few months. They'll get like, somewhat popular and then they'll just like get canceled because they did something weird or something. And it's just like, what? It's really bizarre to hear about. And I don't know like all the details of it, but it kind of makes me scared, honestly. It's just like, why are people getting canceled? I don't know. But I'm happy with like the community that I have there because obviously my content is very family friendly and the Discord itself is like pretty family friendly as well. Nobody's really been acting up too much. Yeah, you have a lot of
rules like no shipping, all that kind of stuff. How tightly is that moderated?
Oh, well, for it's not like no shipping. It's no shipping like real people and whatnot. It's it's like romantic discussion of your own life. You can leave that. Obviously, like if it's like fictional shipping, whatever, that's completely fine.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Like shipping like real people, or like talking about like your own, or like trying to like hook up, use it as like an e-dating thing.
Yeah. And that makes total sense.
In the YouTube video that I announced, I was like, yo, just don't do this. That's an instant ban, because like there was a problem with that when I started my Zeez Vov Gee 2 server, and that was just, it was bad. So we immediately got rid of that like as soon as we started seeing that kind of stuff. But it was really annoying because we had somebody on the team of moderators that was like a really early moderator on Zeez Vov Gee 2 server that like really was pushing for people to be like, yeah, it's just romance. What's so bad about it? But it's like, this isn't the place for it. It's not what I want for my server. It's like, yeah, if you want to do that, go make your own server.
Especially because you have so many minors.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
Discord has been notoriously a place, unfortunately, for not great things.
Yeah, no, it's definitely bad. That's why I wanted to like, immediately nip that stuff in the bud. Just like have none of that. And it's been good. Everybody is like pretty good at following the rules. Obviously, like there's a few random instances that where people get a little carried away, but for the most part, it's been like really, really easy. And I haven't really had like any big issues. In fact, like I think maybe I can only think of like one time there was an issue, and like it was not even that big of an issue. As opposed to like Zeez Vov Gee 2 server, which has had many issues over years, but it's been pretty good recently. I'm not like super active in the Zeez Vov Gee 2 Discord, but I check on it like multiple times a day. I talk in there at least once a day, and the moderators do a great job managing that Discord server, so I really appreciate all of them. They're also awesome.
I was gonna say, which Discord server you think is more active?
They're honestly about equal right now. They're pretty equal. Zeez Vov Gee 2 definitely, like when it was at its peak, was far more active. Like especially like when both shows were ongoing, and like whenever like new episodes were coming out, it would like the freaking amount of people that would flood into the server was crazy. Like usually, how on some Discord servers there's like time limits for how often you can send messages, right? It's like one message every like 15 seconds or whatever. So like in our general chat, I think it's like 10 seconds or 15 seconds normally, which is pretty good. But whenever new episodes would come out, it would have to be like a minute, or else it would just be like thousands of messages, and no one could just read anything. So we'd have to slow it down a lot. Right now it's just like, since there hasn't been like too much content coming from my channel and no new episodes of like major cartoons that everybody's watching, it's been relatively tame, which is nice. It's nice, and like you recognize most of the people in there as well. Yeah. It's like a nice community to recognize everybody, and not just like, here's a random person talking about this, and then it's like, oh, I don't know you, and then they're just gone by the next day, and then there's another random person that pops up the next day.
It's really random question. Like we kind of talked about this before. You have like several OG fans that comment a lot, right? Even from like the Zeez Vov Gee gaming early days, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever recognize those people on your Discord servers, or are they just still mostly relegated in the YouTube comments?
Mostly YouTube comments, but they've popped up a couple of times before. They don't really like interact too often, but when they do pop up, it's really fun to see them. And I usually say hello, point them out, because it's just like, yo, those are the OGs, dude. Those are the OGs.
Another thing that I thought was really interesting, like when you announced the Identity 5 Discord server, you went on like a pretty extensive, it wasn't really extensive rant, but you did go into pretty strong detail. Like, okay, like basically don't bring your problems onto the server too, like the mental health, like venting thing. Cause I know that, I'm not very active on Discord, just, at least on your servers. I know like for a while on your Zeez Vov Gee 2 Discord, you had like multiple like kind of mental health, like sort of related channels, right? Or like where people could vent.
Yeah.
That was something it seems like you made sure to depart from on the Identity 5 Discord.
Well, and Zeez Vov Gee 2 Discord as well. That's completely gone now. So to go into detail that, this was like back in early days when it was kind of first formed. I noticed that like a lot of people were just like bringing up depressing topics and whatnot, or just like sharing their own like things. And that kind of stuff is just really bad because, everybody's here to like talk about cartoons, have a good time. And then somebody comes in here and it's like, I've had depression for 2 years. My family sucks. They all hate me. This and that. And it's just like, what are all the people supposed to do now? And they're saying that like in the general chats. It's like, okay, listen, it's the thing is like, it's really hard, right? Because it's like, you can't just be like, oh, you can't talk about your problems. You stop. because they're trying to find like people to connect with, like an outlet for help. It's basically a cry for help when they say these things.
It is,
and it's like
definitely.
it's so awkward because you have to be so careful with how you deal with situations like that, because you don't want to say the wrong thing and just like hurt that person more. But it's like, this isn't the place for it. Like, this is a Discord server. Like, you need like real help. And so we eventually added in like the venting channel where people could vent about their problems, and like people could go in and like try and help out the other people in there as well. I thought at first like it would be a good idea to be like having like a nice like a social circle for everybody to like discuss their problems and whatnot. And I thought it'd be like a good idea at first, but like it just became too much, right? It just became too much, especially when major users of the server, like for example, some of like the moderators or very, very popular members would go in there and talk about like some really dark and heavy stuff. And it's like, you can't just say that kind of stuff in that chat and then go back to general chat and act like everything's okay, right? Because people are gonna know. And it just became really, really awkward, especially with some of the members that would vent all the time and were very, very, very active, like pretty much was always on the server. So yeah, after a while and like noticing these problems and the fact that so many instances it would climb up like the ladder. Like first it would go to the moderators and the admins, and then eventually it would have to come to me. And it's like, well, I'm not supposed to be the person to deal with this. I'm here to make funny YouTube videos. I'm not supposed to handle Discord freaking drama for 13-year-olds. So
yeah,
after all that happened, instead, I decided that, hey, nobody here is a therapist. This isn't our job. I'm just going to completely ban venting and discussion of that in the Discord server. And instead, what I did for the Zeez Vov Gee 2 server, which I probably should do for the Identify one as well, is I put a help channel down at the very bottom that has links to a bunch of like mental health stuff, the hotline that people might need, and just a lot of other stuff like that. And it's just like that's the kind of stuff that they would go to if anybody like were to say something. And I've told the mods like, hey, if people are venting about really heavy and dark stuff, you immediately mute them. And while they're muted, you can point them to that help channel and whatnot. Because it's like, it feels kind of wrong, right? Because it's just like, oh, you're feeling sad? Well, here's some links to make you feel better. But it's like, it's just, I don't know. It's the best that we can do. Like, it's all that we can really do. Because again, we're not the type of people to solve their issues. So
I was going to say,
that's kind of
how do you fully moderate something like that in terms of like, okay, someone's starting to vent about their issues on general or an unrelated chat, and you, I mean, obviously, like, do you just immediately ban them? I mean, or do you pull them aside and say like, hey, we're just doing a quick time, like you can't talk on the server for like 24 hours, just so you know this against the rules, but we're sorry you're feeling this way, here's some links. Like, is that how you kind of handle it?
That's kind of, that's the plan. Obviously, we don't ban people like right away unless they say something like really, really bad. But if it's, if it's just like a first instance of a person saying something, we'll mute them, pull them aside, be like, hey, listen, we don't allow that. Check the rules. If you really need help, there are these there's phone numbers here. There's these things that like these websites with real professional help that you can get, and we remind them that professional help is like the best way to solve these type things. And these are all like free things. Like these numbers are all free. They're all 24/7. You can call them at any time and get help. It's just on them to do it. And I know so many of these like kids would just refuse to call the numbers because it's like, it's not going to help me. But it's like,
right.
Sitting here on Discord server, listening to a bunch of other 13-year-olds telling you everything else is going to be okay. It's like, no, it's just not what they need. I don't know. It just became too much to a point where I just didn't allow it anymore. So I'm kind of happy with what we have right now because it's worked out well for us. And although it is like a little sad, because it's like, we can't really help these people. But the thing is, we're not supposed to be the ones to help them. They need like actual professional help. And after I, finally realized that, it worked so much better for the server.
No,
sorry,
I think
I kind of went on a tangent there, but it was a big issue for a while.
It was
so
a big
I just wanted to
topic.
go into it. And I highly recommend any like people starting up a Discord server, if you're a fellow creator like myself, don't have those types of or like do what I did, I guess. Do what I did and do just like have like a more professional base where like just having resources for professional help as opposed to like having people share their problems. If it's like a public YouTube based Discord server, it's like if it's like a private one with your friends, whatever, that's on you.
Well, yeah,
but if you're like a creator, you don't want that stuff in your server. Trust me, it's too much to handle.
I know, it makes perfect sense. I agree with you in the sense that it's too much to handle. It's like a lot of responsibility, right? Because like if someone says something, then like if you like, in a sense, you do have like some obligation. Like, if you do allow people to say that, you have an obligation to like speak up sometimes or something. I don't really know. It's just hard to say, like, make the call or whatever. It's just really complicated, and it just complicates like your relationship with your audience as well.
And like the moderator as well, which I'm like supposed to be able to trust. So I just remember so many times like these issues would just go up the chain of command all the way to me. And you know how I used to have that Petri dish job, right? Where I used to like do stuff while I was doing the job. There were multiple times when I would be solving these Discord arguments while I was at work, and it's like I can barely even manage all this stuff. So I'm trying to think of like what to say while I'm trying to do all these things at my job at the same time. It was some chaotic times, dude. I'm so glad those days are over.
Yeah. How much did you research like running a Discord server ahead of time before you kind of set things up, or did you kind of wing it for a lot of things?
I 100% winged it right from the very start. Obviously, I had like the big general rules of like no NSFW kind of stuff, limited swearing, try to keep things like mostly family friendly, PG-13, stuff like that. All like the important stuff, but there are just some things that I feel like I just needed to experience first and then adapt to. Like the rules, especially for Zeez Vov Gee 2, like are they're pretty strict. I'm a little more loose on the Identity 5 one.
Really?
Just a little more loose. But the freaking Zeez Vov Gee 2 one is like it's pretty strict, right? It's pretty strict on what we allow. It's like I just want to keep it very very family friendly. But it's just like, starting off, like, the rules were a lot looser. And, like, when people would, break the rules, there was a lot of time where I would just be like, yeah, it's okay, just don't do it again. Yeah, it's okay, just don't do it again. But now we kind of just have, like, a 3-strike policy where it's like, yeah, if you do it 3 times, it's over. It's like the first time, it's a warning. The second time, it's a mute for a certain amount of time, depending on what it is. And third time, it's the ban. That's usually how we do stuff. Just because it's easier that way. And it's just, like, giving people too many chances is just not what you want to do. It just does not lead to anything good.
Has there ever been any pushback from people saying like you're too strict, or has there been people? Okay,
there 100% has been. Especially in like the early days of the server when I was just starting to like adapt in new rules. Every time I was adapting in new rules, a lot of the original moderators that enjoyed the more laid back type rules, they were They let me know their opinions on how they liked my rules, but it's whatever. I'm just, again, those days are over, so I don't have to worry about them too much.
They
definitely were stressful times, I guess.
Has there almost ever been anyone that's like thanked you for making it such like a family-friendly place?
Yes, that's actually a great point. Again, like for the past, I should say like 10 months or so, the server's been amazing. Like there's barely been any like major problems, which is really nice. But what was so kind actually, and it honestly almost brought me to tears, was on New Year's, the mods in the server created a chat called Thank You Zeez, and it was everybody sending a bunch of like really really kind messages about like, hey, thank you for creating this Discord server. I really like the community. I got to meet so many awesome people here. And it was like nice to meet all these friends. So thank you for creating this and whatnot. It's just really, really kind stuff like that. And I didn't even know that they were going to create that. They just did it randomly. And it was so sweet. It was just so sweet to read through those messages. And it was another big reason why I was just like, when I saw those messages, I was like, these people deserve better. I got to start uploading more because they really deserve, more content. It was just really sweet. I was literally almost brought to tears from how kind it was. So yeah, again, the community is very kind, and like actually just hearing it from their mouths, or I guess their keyboards or whatever. I don't know. It was really, really sweet.
You should make a video going like lessons learned from creating a Discord server, like for people who maybe want to create a Discord server for the future. I don't know. Like,
oh, maybe that'd be like a Zeez Vov Gee 3 video.
Tips and tricks for large Discord servers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do that, but the thing is, like, a lot of other Discord servers are different from mine. Like, I feel like mine is like pretty strict in comparison to a lot of other YouTubers probably would be.
Sure, but you still got lessons learned that you had no idea going forward, and I think a lot of the stuff like the venting.
You have a huge Discord server, Zeez. Like,
that's true.
It's like 800, almost 800 people. Like, a Discord server with 800 people is going to have different sets of rules and need different levels of organization than a Discord server with like 50, Or like
there's actually 6,000 people. I mean, granted, not all of them are
3,000? Oh, I'm just looking at the people online right now.
No, 6,000.
I'm secretly in the server.
6,000, and then how many does Melly Nation?
I don't actually post anything. I'm just kind of in it. I don't even.
Actually, I can check right now. Last time I checked, the Zeez Labyrinth was at 6,000. I can double check. Well,
no, it has thousands of people. I feel like it's with like you. It's just impossible to make like nuanced calls with that many people on.
I guess
the server.
there's 1,000 on Melly Nation.
Yeah, there's around 6,000 on Zeez Vov Gee 2, and then Melly Nation has, let's see, almost 1,000, just under 1,000.
The reason I said 1,000 is because I went to the rules page and you have to click the check mark.
Yeah, that's how I looked.
And 1,034 people have clicked.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. I guess some people lost that because for me it says there's only 1,000. Weird.
Interesting. Or they left.
They could have clicked it and then left the server, maybe. So there's around 1,000. There's around 1,000. So.
Well, yeah. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is that, like, I mean, I feel like venting does have a place. It's just with a server this big, and also because it's a creator-centered Discord, like that's just going to have different rules, I guess. Like, that's not to say that you can't do it anywhere, but maybe just not here.
No, that's exactly what it was about. It's just like, this just is not the place for it, right? Especially with so many of these people being young. And a lot of the time, like, in that chat that we had for venting, like, it was just like other 13-year-olds giving out like life advice. And it's just like, no, no. Bad. Bad. And it was a big issue because a lot of it was just like, you know, I was never like super crazy about the idea because I never used it really. I never really like managed it. The moderators were more about it, but the moderators like from the original team were really pushing for it because they really wanted it. But you know, again,
online dating?
The venting thing.
Well, there were a couple that wanted the online dating, but the venting thing was more of it. But the online dating thing that stopped before the venting thing. Even the venting thing went on for like a while, but the online dating, I freaking stopped that like 2 months in or something because I just did not want to have to deal with that dude.
Yeah,
and you know, not having to deal with that is a good thing. You know, just like the Discord server is a place for fun. It's a place for the community to connect and talk and share their interests, and that's supposed to be it. No freaking e-dating, no talking about your freaking mental health problems. Sorry. I know the mental health thing is just, it's sad that we have to do that because it's like, you know, we want to help support our friends, but it just isn't the place for it.
Well, yeah, I kind of see like Discord servers as kind of like virtual sort of locations. Like, you know, like you don't like do everything at like a public gathering place. Like it doesn't need to accommodate every single type of activity ever. Like,
yeah,
there's just certain things that other places are. That's why we have other places. It's to accommodate those things, and that's why other Discord servers and DMs exist.
Exactly.
That's a good point, Emmy. Like, you don't vent about your mental health issues in the middle of a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
You know,
This is a Wendy's, sir.
This is a Wendy's. What the heck are you doing?
Yeah, literally.
Speaking of Identity 5, I'm sorry for just transitioning topics here.
No, you're good.
One thing I was wondering, I've suggested this over and over again, man. I really want you to make like a how-to, like a beginner's videos, like tips and tricks on characters or for beginners or for things like that. I think that'd be so neat. And also like for someone who doesn't know the game, like something that'd be like very beginner friendly. Although I feel like obviously if I watch your videos enough, like on your Identity 5 channel, which I don't really, but
you'd pick up on it.
I would pick it up.
Yeah.
I'd pick it up.
And like, if you've ever seen any Dead by Daylight gameplay, apparently it's pretty similar. I've seen a little bit of Dead by Daylight, but I think the style of IDV is a bit cooler. It's funny they asked. I don't know if we actually talked about this idea, but it was the idea where it's like you guys would just randomly download the game and just play with me.
Yeah.
It would just be like I'd be like the only one knowing what to do, and I'd just have to ordering you like all what to do at the same time.
Ordering us around.
Yeah, because the game,
getting your power fantasies on.
Well, because the thing is like it'd be a good team because there's 4 of us, right? There's 4 of us, and that makes up a whole team.
Oh my gosh!
So it'd be one person, myself, knows what they're doing. 3 of you have no idea what your guys are doing, and then we're up against like, you know, some freaking hunter that's trying to kill us, and it's just like I feel like it'd be like a good video.
What if you were the hunter and we invited Little Rookie?
Well, I mean, then you'd have to have one bot. You'd have to have one bot to play with you guys, which would be, kind of cringe.
The issue would be is you need to be on the same team as us.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I could be like 1 pro and 3 noobs or whatever. It'd be like that. Like 1 pro, 3 noobs versus this. It'd be. I don't know. I thought about the idea. I thought it'd be funny.
I guess it'd be like.
I would call myself the pro just because, like, in comparison, I'm a mid-level player, but like, I would easily just be like, 1 pro and 3 noobs, just because, like, comparatively wise.
Teaching my friend that's never played Identity V before, or playing with my friend that's never played Identity V before.
Yeah, just something stupid like that. I think it would make for a really funny video, honestly. But obviously, like, I would have to edit a ton. But for like going back to like the tutorial videos and whatnot, I definitely want to do those in the future. I've actually been requested to do a couple tutorials for the characters that I actually do know how to play. But again, I'm just waiting a little bit longer because my fundamentals of the game still need a bit more work. I'm still learning new things about the game.
I feel like you're really good at it when I watch you play. You look impressive. I don't know. Like, of course, I don't know anything about the game, but like the way you talk about it, like your ongoing strategy, I think like I don't know. You seem pretty good. So. Well,
I still make a lot of mistakes is the thing, and I still haven't played like all the characters yet. So each character has like different abilities.
Sure.
Even just today, I played like a new character that I never really play, and I did really, really bad with them. But again, it's just character inexperience. There's fundamentals, and then each character has like special abilities, and knowing how to use the special abilities are really important in the game. Because if you don't know how to use them, then you're just gonna mess up your fundamentals. So, yeah. But once I get to a point where I'm like confident in like the fundamentals of the game, I could probably make some tutorial videos. And I can also make really entertaining ones too, because I think a lot of the tutorials out there are kind of boring. They're all like text-to-speech, like this is how you run away from the evil guy. You press the run button and then you go this way.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
You look at the videos that have the most views for Identity V. It's all the tutorials, man. And like I was saying with like your audio-visual presentation, you can make it look so much. You can do such a good job. I'm telling you, man. So I hope you do it because I think that that's like where not that there's a lot of money to be made with Identity V, but that's where the big money is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's where at
least the longevity views. The longevity views for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I've actually found a couple of successful series on that channel that have like decent longevity.
Guessing your rank.
Yeah, the guessing your rank ones. There's like ranks and like different tiers in the freaking game, and that series is doing pretty well. Which is nice to see. It's nice to see like a series that gets like longevity views as opposed to just like, oh, I played this character for a day. That's not going to get like any views or whatever. Or it's going to get like views in the first day and then like none after like 76 hours or whatever. Or reaction
of very time specific thing that happened.
Yeah. Like those are good for like short-term views and short-term growth, but the long-term growth is like far better. But again, it is like a gaming channel, and the content is a lot easier to make than like Zeez Vov Gee 2. So it's like how I do actually like having this channel now because it is like a good backbone, especially financially as well. Because now I can like I know that channel is back there, so I don't feel as stressed making like really, really intensively good videos without having like any sorts of income or whatever. So having that channel as like a good backbone financially feels really nice now that I can work on like bigger projects and not have to feel like, oh, I have to rush this and get it out so I can make more money or whatever. Now I can just be like, all right, let me take my time with it, make sure it's a good video or whatever. It's nice to have it in the background, I guess, as like a backup option, both financially and just having a nice community there is great as well.
Speaking of financials for that channel, how's the live streams going? I know that like, are you still getting like 150 to 200 concurrent viewers?
Yeah, that's honestly about the average. It usually floats around 150 to 200. It'll peak over 200 sometimes, but usually we're usually sitting around like 150 to like 200.
That's again good. That's mid-sized streamer for sure.
Yeah, and I don't mean to brag or anything, but I was watching some other streamers, and for English viewers, they pull like for some of the top channels, they don't pull the same views that I do. I don't want to like brag, but like I was watching.
I think there's a lot of momentum.
A couple other English
channel.
I think that's another reason why. It's like a lot of other people who have been around like for many years, they have like more subscribers and like more views, but
you
they
showed
have
up out
like
of nowhere,
a less
man. You got to get like a collaboration with them. They're gonna be like, who the heck is this guy? Like they just showed up, started making great videos off the get go. Like they knew what they were doing and just uploads like crazy.
No, I mean that's kind of. I mean, I've already collabed with a couple of creators already, which is been pretty fun.
Okay.
Yep, none of the big ones yet, but a couple of other like smaller creators. So that's been fun. It's been fun to meet some new people in the community, just like actually know how to play the game and whatnot. People that are actually like much better than me as well.
Right.
So that's honestly been really, really fun. But as for like the live streams and whatnot, it was just really funny to see that like, me getting like 150 to 200, where I like watching some of these other creators that only get like, like 40, 50, which is like, it's still good. It's still good to get like 40 and 50. But it was just a little interesting to see. It's like, that's funny. Obviously I'm nowhere near like the Japanese and Chinese. Those channels get like 500, 1,000 views because obviously the game is so much bigger over there. So I'm nothing compared to them. But it's still cool to see like having a decent sized number, especially when my streams on my gaming channel usually only get like 10 people. And when I rarely stream on Zeez Vov Gee 2, that would actually get a lot of viewers. But it's Zeez Vov Gee 2 stream. It's very specific, hyper focused, like on Owl House. So that makes sense. If I were to do like a stream that's like not Owl House or Amphibia, to get like maybe 50 views, 40 views, maybe. Maybe not even that. It really depends on what like the title thumbnail is and what the topic is.
Interesting. How are donations?
They're okay. I don't really get like super big size donations. But they're here and there. I usually get like 2 or 3 per stream. I think the most one I got was a $20 one, which was really cool. But nothing super crazy. But it's nice to like just have some, bonus revenue coming on in from the streams.
I think also like, I don't really know what the age range of the Identity 5 channel is really, but I was going to say like, I'm sure that part of what has to do with like certain streamers that get more donations than others are like, do have to do with the average age. Because like if you have a bunch of 13-year-olds, like they're not going to have disposable income to give you donations, right?
Yeah. No, the age range is actually pretty interesting. It usually seems to be around like 13 through 20-ish. That's kind of what it seems like around.
Okay.
So it targets...
So about the same age range as 2?
No, 2 is younger. 2 is a lot younger.
2 definitely skews younger.
No, 2 is like... It's okay. The analytics, I can tell by the comments, right? From a lot of the
analytics are lies.
The analytics are all like lies because people lie about their age, but the comments you can just tell, right? The comments for me on like Zeez Vov Gee 2 are definitely like my average age range is probably like 11. Like there's a lot of young kids that watch it. But there's some definitely sophisticated
content about cartoons, so.
Yeah, but there's a lot of younger kids that watch it. Whereas with Identity 5, like there's very few comments that feel like, they're written by like a 2-year-old or whatever.
A 2-year-old. I'd be impressed to find a 2-year-old.
Well, if you look at some of the comments on Zeez Vov Gee 2, it's just like, what are they talking about, man? It's just like, this doesn't even mean anything. It's just like, haha, the funny flatback bird flies, ha ha ha. Or it's just like, I love this Gravity Falls reference. I love Gravity Globs, and it's just like completely misspelled or whatever. It's like this, they misspell words a lot, right? Whereas like in the comments on Identity 5, I rarely ever see like misspellings of words. Like there's good grammar, people know how to like make good comments, so it's definitely like more. I'd say the average age range for my ID channel is probably like 14 or 15. So I don't know. That's kind of how it feels to me. But there are some young adults in there, but a good amount of teenagers there as well. As for this channel, I don't even know. It's probably like 16, 17, 18 maybe, because it's more personal focused. And actually, funny enough, the gaming channel has always had a young audience as well, or a young adult audience. It's always been like 18. Everybody is been like
interesting.
Yeah, it's always had like a young adult range, which has been pretty interesting. I don't know. It's interesting to see like the different target audiences, and really enough, it's pretty funny. Like gaming is usually dominated by a male audience. Like on my gaming channel, I think it was like males to females ratio was like, I think like 85 to like 15. And
that's
then
probably honestly.
No, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. And then for like Zeez Vov Gee 2, it's like 50-50 because like everybody loves cartoons. But what I thought was weird for Identity 5 is it's actually like really swayed in the female side. Like it's like 65-35 or something, which is really weird.
Wow.
It's really popular with girls, I guess. Girls love the horror, I guess. They love the horror.
Like horror is pretty popular with girls. I don't know.
I know it's interesting to see like really, 65% girls and then 35% boys.
Holy crap! Wow.
Isn't FNAF pretty popular with girls too, though? Yeah,
I don't know. It's really interesting to like see the analytics of just like age range, like gender and whatnot, and like places of the world as well. I get a lot of views from the Philippines as well for Identity 5.
Yeah, you were saying it's popular in Asia, and Philippines is a huge English-speaking country, right?
It's crazy, like seeing. I get a lot of views on Zeez Vov Gee 2. I get a lot of views from Mexico, which is interesting. I don't know. It's really interesting to see like this, like the age, geography, and like gender, just like stuff. I don't know. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating to like look at the analytics.
Yeah, Mexico is really big into cartoons and anime, and I know that they're actually they have like a bunch of conventions that are popping up and stuff too. Like they have like anime shops and stuff. People, there's these guys that actually talk about that the conventions around here actually, like I've seen their panels at multiple places where they'll be like the influence of anime on like Mexican music and anime or stuff like that, or like the influence of anime on Mexican culture.
Okay.
Like they have this whole thing. It's really interesting, and it's a well put together panel that's with a lot of research. My girlfriend is particularly interested in that because she's mixed. So like it was cool to hear from her perspective how much she liked it.
Oh, interesting.
Actually, yeah, no, that definitely seems really fascinating. Analytics is a fun thing, dude.
Analytics.
Emmy, you have some epic topics.
I only have 2, and we already talked about one.
Wait,
honestly, it wasn't even a topic.
You didn't really talk about food, though. Did you?
Just kind of said that. You just said that you made food.
Over.
You just said that. You said that you made food. But can you go into detail? Like what kind of foods you make? What kind of awesome stuff?
Come on, Gordon.
Would Gordon Ramsay be proud? Like, we gotta hear the
Gordon
details.
Would not be proud because it wasn't that great.
Oh,
Gordon
unfortunate.
would be proud. Be quiet.
Yeah, shut up. You don't know anything about your own cooking. Gordon would be proud. We know. We didn't even see it, but we know. Actually, you just sent me some photos of the stuff you made. I thought it looked pretty good.
I made a pie essentially. I made a pie, but so I got a stand mixer and I was playing around with it. I was like, all right, I will finally learn how to bake, and I baked a pie, and I didn't add enough sugar, so it was actually really, really sour, like because it was an apple pie.
Oh, okay. Did you want it to be more tart?
I wanted it to be a bit more tart, but not that tart. Like, I mean, it was my first time making it, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing.
I guess if it was too sour, if you got like
it was
ice cream,
fine. I mean, you always eat it with ice cream anyways.
Right,
so.
I was gonna say with ice cream it worked fine. Just like how like rhubarb pie with ice cream is really, because like rhubarb pie is pretty tart. But you made a pie, and what else?
I mean, I made a steak. I would make something like more with more people.
I made a second pie.
I made a second pie.
I made a meat pie.
I made a meat pie. Honestly, that sounds interesting. I honestly want to try making a meat pie sometime.
What is a meat pie?
It's a pie with meat in it.
Whoa!
So like a chicken pot pie, like a.
I mean, you can put chicken or you can put beef in it too. I mean, that's a lot. There are just meat pies in the world.
Oh.
I don't know why I find this to be so funny.
Very, very British food, actually. You can get meat pies in like the UK. Pie with meat. It's just meat. There's nothing else. It's just meat.
No fillings, no nothing.
What kind of meat? Just meat.
Just meat. That's all you need, I guess.
Actually, I saw a video about this. One of the oldest fast food places, I think, in the UK serves like meat pies.
Well, then go there now. I order you to go there right now.
What are
those steaks steal the recipes
all around them?
Actually, do you read cookbooks ever?
Wait, what?
Do you read? Sorry to interrupt you, freaking
Do
RaceCar,
I read cookbooks?
Do you read cookbooks? Yeah, I'm curious.
I mean, no, not really. Mostly just because the internet exists. So I just mostly I follow a lot of food YouTubers. So
okay.
There is a cookbook that I do actually want, which is called Modernist Cuisine. It's a very sciencey cookbook, which it's a very nerdy cookbook, but there's the industrial edition, and then there's the at-home edition, which is the one that I want. I used to want to read it a lot. I actually can afford it now, so it's like $70, so I probably could just pick up a copy. But I follow the guy on YouTube who wrote it. He does a lot of interesting recipe stuff. Actually, I used his technique. I used his technique for the steak that I cooked, which ended up being pretty good.
That's good to hear. Do you have to calculate? Do you have to make a pig controller every time you want to make a food? You said it was nerdy and pretty complex, so.
No, actually, it's interesting you bring that up. No one's gonna know what we're talking about right now, but he actually did use a PID controller in one of his videos. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just made an oven, just a PID controller, you know."
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, "What?" That's so funny. Well, I guess that makes sense for an oven, yeah.
Well, no, he made like a glass oven to just for show, to show like the process of cooking a turkey like in a video, because he was like showing people how to do it. So he was like, all right, well, I guess I need a glass oven to show everyone how it's done. So I'll just make a glass oven.
I see.
No, that video was really interesting. He was talking about how the color on like a lot of the turkeys that you actually see in photos is actually fake. Like in that, like, it's not actually like that golden brown color. Like, you know how like on all the turkey pictures, it's like a deep golden brown.
It's always a lot darker than that usually.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't ever actually get that color naturally by cooking it. What they actually end up doing, and he tells you this, is like, this is a secret that I will tell you. Essentially, like, they actually paint the turkey with like cranberry sauce to get it that color.
Turkey lore. We are learning some turkey lore right now. What the heck?
So
Painted
basically,
turkey.
So you paint it while it's baking, and it develops that brown color. You're essentially like painting it to make it look nice.
And you bake it with the cranberry sauce on like the outside?
Yeah, you're basically basting it on. You basically take a brush while it's baking, and you take it out, paint it with the cranberry sauce, put it back in, and then every now and again you just repaint it, and then at the end it looks like in the pictures.
Why don't they just use Photoshop?
I don't know.
Why do they go through all the effort? Just use
Turn
Photoshop.
up the brown. Just CGI a turkey. Just CGI a turkey. You don't even need
CGI a turkey.
AI generated turkey.
AI generate the turkey. Yeah, exactly. AI generated turkey.
I still love the idea of the PID controller. I just love the idea that you're doing like an automated like steak. Like imagine like you're doing a motion profiling of the internal temperature of a steak.
Motion profile. Yeah, let's get some motion profiling for temperature. Great idea.
Steak autos.
We've lost our viewers. They don't understand us anymore.
What is happening?
Anyways,
big brain.
Well, there was one of his techniques that I used for the steak where it was like it was a pretty basic.
And by
one
he, you mean Gordon, right?
Yeah, it's obviously Gordon.
Rambo.
Obviously. Anyways, his name is Chris Young, I believe, on YouTube. If you want to check him out, he's actually pretty cool.
Shout outs.
Shout out to Chris Young. He's already really successful. I don't even think he needs Zeez's support, obviously.
No. He needs one extra subscriber. Shout outs. Trust, it'll help him. It'll help him in the long run.
Anyways, other topic I wanted to bring up, which is actually more pertinent, I think, which is more interesting, was so you guys know I play Magic the Gathering, right?
No, what's Magic the Gathering? I never heard of that before. Yeah, we're already on the same page. Let's go.
But basically, like, so actually in December, the parent company, so Magic the Gathering's parent company is Wizards of the Coast, whose parent company, this is like a double parent company. So it's Wizards of the Coast, which is a division of Hasbro. And so, interestingly, so this past year, this is something that a lot of people were talking about in the Magic sort of community, and also in the D&D community, was that Wizards actually like laid off, or not Wizards, Hasbro laid off like I think 15% of its staff going into the end of 2023, which was really interesting. So the reason
there's been a lot of layoffs in lots of different communities recently. Sorry to jump in there, but that's been happening in a lot of different communities. Like I know it's been happening in the animation industry and the video game industry a lot recently.
No, yeah, I've been hearing about that all over the place. But it's interesting because, so for those of you that don't know, Hasbro, obviously they make toys, but it turns out that
My Little Pony
and gummy bears. No, wait, that's Haribo. I forgot for a second.
Anyways, it turns out, in line with many other modern trends, kids just aren't buying as many toys nowadays, and people in general. So their toy division has not been like profitable in years. Really, the only profitable division is Wizards of the Coast. Like that's the only division of Hasbro that's been consistently making money. Like it's the division that makes D&D and Magic the Gathering. Which it's interesting because they decided to actually lay off a lot of the Wizards staff and D&D staff. This is really weird too, just since next year is the D&D 40th anniversary, and like a lot of the news that I was reading, it turned out like the layoffs weren't just like low-level employees, they were just laying off like core developers that just made the D&D 5th edition. Like they're just gone now. They're not there for the 40th anniversary next year. Supposedly they have plans, which is I don't know. It's I find it weird at the same time, but it just I feel like it complicates my relationship with like Wizards and Magic the Gathering in general. Like obviously I like playing Magic the Gathering, but at the same time it kind of feels like they're just running both Magic the Gathering and D&D kind of into the ground for more money, because I think like what the news was is like a lot of the shareholders were pressuring them, I suppose, pressuring the corporate company to just lay off people so they can have, I guess, more money. I suppose I don't really know what the bias behind that is, but I guess like it just feels like there's like on one hand there's the community behind like Magic and D&D, which like everyone kind of works on together and is very like everyone shares a lot of stuff. And then there's like the corporate side, which sees it more as a vehicle to make money. And I don't know, it just seems very at odds now, and I'm not really sure.
Shareholders should invest in things they care about and not just funny money. I know that's not how the world works, but still, I'm gonna beat up all the shareholders. Yeah. If you're a shareholder, I'm coming for you. Watch out. This is the new main channel video. It's gonna be called Zeez beats up every single shareholder in the world. That's it.
Well, it just feels interesting because like I guess a lot of people don't even think of D&D as being owned by anyone, you know? Like D&D is just a thing that people play, right? But
yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It like the rule set is technically owned by
Wait a minute.
Hasbro.
You just said it was the 40th anniversary, right? So for the 95th anniversary, it's not owned by anybody.
Here we go again,
yeah,
bro.
we just gotta wait another 55 years for D&D 5e to go into the public domain.
It's okay, guys. It's only 55 years.
We'll be alive for that, probably.
I mean, we'll be alive.
Unless we get hit by a bus. Probably. You never know.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
That's how you're gonna go out at this point, dude.
Yeah, I've said it's. I've just kind of manifested.
Your default way of telling people dying is just getting hit by a bus, and that's just
it. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna like actually pick up a magnet, and there's gonna be a magnet on the bus, and like, there I go.
I feel like it's gonna be a bus with a Mr. Beast print on it.
Yeah. If I die to a bus that like has a Mr. Beast on it, please laugh at my funeral. I'm begging you.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, please play that sound effect. If the bus hits me, I have to scream, Mr. Beast.
New video.
Invite Mr. Beast to my...
was killed someone? just like the thumbnail.
I just died to the Mr. Beast bus.
I'm filming this from the afterlife, guys. What's up?
I'm filming this video from the afterlife after I died from the Mr. Beast bus. Find out how much money I made from the settlement following the video.
You mean your family made? You didn't make any money.
Stay tuned to find out how much money I made from Jimmy alone.
Too bad I am not legally alive any longer to collect the money, but I can watch it from afar.
Luckily, I get the live reaction cams of my family members. They inherit the profit.
Look at them. They look so happy. Man, they're smiling a whole lot. Why are they smiling so much? Man, it doesn't even seem like they're sad or anything.
It doesn't even feel like they care about me. I don't know. I thought maybe I'd have more to say about that, but that ended up being, I suppose
it's just each time, like all of a sudden, it gets sad. It just plays the bruh sound of like bruh.
And then it ends off with a Mr. B6000. Sounds like a great video idea, honestly. I'm ready. I'll be sure to upload it when I die. All right, I think we got everything done. Did we have anything else that we wanted to discuss for today? I think we had a pretty solid podcast for the new year, if you ask me.
I agree.
Yeah, podcast 24 for 2024. Let's go.
Yeah, indeed. A little closing thought I have. One thing I really like about doing this with you guys is it forces us to have good conversation, which is something that when I get on Discord calls with people doesn't always happen, right? I get on so many Discord calls, like wanting to hang out with people, right? But they will I'll say something to them, and they'll take like 5 seconds. They won't reply at all. They'll reply with like 2 words, or they'll play a game, and then instead of talking, like they'll be like, yeah, we'll talk, and then they'll play the game and they'll just completely ignore me. It's like, man, I thought we're supposed to be in a call, hanging out. You guys are not hanging out. We're not talking about life. You guys say like 2 things when I ask you a question. Like, it's not fun. Like this, like we're forced to have quality conversation, which is nice.
No, yeah. So. No, I totally agree with that. It's just like, obviously the podcast is like, it's fun to create content with, but also it's just an excuse to hang out with friends at the same time. That's exactly how I saw it, like at the very start, because I just wanted to be more social and talk to friends and whatnot. So
yeah.
No, I completely agree.
Be more social. We get to be more social while making Zeez money. This is great.
I'm still not monetized on this channel, but it's okay. It's a thought that counts.
We'll get there eventually.
Guys, each of you counts.
Come on, guys. Help Zeez get monetized on Zeez
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Chain of Memories. Reloaded.
Guys, here's a secret YouTube hack. If you have any extra time or any extra accounts, here's what you do. You play this podcast on your alt account channel and just let it run in a background tab, and that gives me a bunch of free watch time, and that's all I need to get monetized on this channel, because I've already reached 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, thanks for doing that, guys. Appreciate it. We'll be monetized by tomorrow. Sounds great. Sounds like a plan. All right, cool.
If Zeez is not monetized by the next podcast, we will be very disappointed in you all.
It's definitely not happening. I should be monetized by like...
Oh yeah, probably not.
I guess like March, probably. I guess like March. Either way, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it as always. It's always really fun doing these podcasts. And we'll see you hopefully next week. Hopefully no more like long breaks between the podcasts, because again, these are really, really fun to do. So yeah, we'll see you later. I hope you have a great rest day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.